When is the last time that you watched a movie? Probably been a while, huh? Well, lucky for you, I watched 10 movies, and I'm gonna rank them from waste of time up to life-changing. So we're gonna start in the F tier, starting at the absolute bottom of the barrel, a movie I would not hate watch, I would not ironically watch. This movie sucks. Batman, The Doom That Came to Gotham. In an alternate universe, Batman lives in foggy 1920s England, and something otherworldly begins to emerge. There is little to no understanding, reverence, or appreciation for what makes the Lovecraftian mythos that inspired this film so good in the first place. It's sort of like if you made a birthday cake by diluting 1 tablespoon of icing into a 3-gallon bucket of water and served it at a birthday party. Oh, this is cake, isn't it, children? No, this is not cake. This is a bucket of water with 1 tablespoon of icing diluted into it. It becomes a fairly intolerable mess, and worst of all, it disappoints children like me. I think this movie is deserving of the generous score of 1 out of 10. Next is another movie that I would just say skip entirely. Also, I got copyrighted for showing footage from it, so I'll put something else for you to look at. The Meg 2, and coincidentally, I give The Meg 2 a 2 out of 10. Anyone who likes shark violence or shark thrillers or shark horror will be, I think, pretty severely disappointed, as in this movie, there are very little shark scenes and moments. There are some sharks around, kind of, but they're not the main threat. The main threat is a greedy corporation that's mining or something under the water, and they're trying to kill the protagonists who are in a submarine. So a lot of it is a submarine survival thing. And then there's these barracudas that come out of nowhere, and they're a little spooky. The last couple minutes, I don't know, the last 30 minutes or whatever were super violent, so, you know, people might bring that up. I do acknowledge people got eaten. They got swallowed whole, though, so. Going up a little bit is D tier, also known as the divisive tier. This is the controversial picks. These are the things that either you'll hate them or you'll be mildly entertained. It's a high risk, low reward tier. And the first entry is a movie that I really just did not enjoy at all. But I fully accept that it was a me problem, as I am very much in the minority. I know a lot of people who did like this movie. And that movie is A Quiet Place 2. And I am someone who thought that A Quiet Place 1 was absolutely amazing. I saw it twice in theaters, and I streamed it multiple times after that. Unfortunately, I just did not feel the same way about the sequel. I think it comes down to, you know, do I want to see what situations unfold in this world? And for me, my response to that was no, I want out of this world, you know? The fun of the first movie was that in this world, you get to see all of the lengths that people go to avoid making noise, because as soon as they make noise, an alien will hear them, show up, and murder them, and there's nothing they can do about it. At the end of the first movie, they find a way to kill aliens. You just play a loud noise. You can play it on a, you know, battery-powered speaker thing that they have at all times, and you shoot them in the head with a shotgun. It looks like they have a lot of ammo, and they set it out like now we're the hunters, we're the predators, and the alien are our prey. Movie 2 starts, and that's how it goes, you know? Alien shows up, they're like, whatever, head's blown off. So, and my rating system is based on how entertained I was, and given that metric, sorry everyone, I do give this one a 3 out of 10. Keeping A Quiet Place 2 cozy up in D tier is another movie that's very controversial. Another high-risk, low-reward kind of film, but I expected it to be a 0 out of 10. And you know what? You'll see my score, but it was a lot closer to being average than I would have expected. And that movie is Five Nights at Freddy's. I am a longtime fan of the franchise. I am a Fazboy at heart. That being said, I did go into this movie expecting to hate every second of it, and surprise, I did not hate it. Is it good? No. But it has redeemable elements. The first 45 minutes or so feel like a very real movie with some really decent performances from Shaggy and Hunger Games Man. But the first 45 minutes is just a completely different movie than what it turns into and really what was advertised to you. The story is about this guy whose little brother was kidnapped right in front of him at a family picnic. And he's the only one that saw the person driving away. Then he tells his parents, and then, you know, flash forward to the present. Both of his parents have passed away for sort of, we'll say, grief-related events. And so now he's the only one who really remembers that this thing happened. And it's still never been resolved. It's never been solved who stole his little brother, and it's sort of taken over his life. And then the movie becomes, after that, a movie about a guy who is at a abandoned pizzeria as a security guard just to make sure no one breaks in. And the animatronics move around sometimes, but they're not a threat, really. I mean, they're a threat to the people that eventually break in. They kill those people, but they're not a threat to the protagonist. And eventually the protagonist brings his little sister to the pizzeria because he has to, kind of, whatever, because they don't have a babysitter or something. And they end up building forts with the animatronics. Like, the animatronics are semi-sentient, but they're hanging out with them and partying and playing music and singing and dancing. It's like too goofy and senseless to be a thriller, and there's a lot of implied mutilation that sort of makes it unfit for kids. So if you're in that sweet spot of being like 13 to 13 and a half years old, this is made for you and only for you. So I think it had redeemable qualities, but it wasn't great. So I have to give this one a 4 out of 10, just a little bit below average. Next tier, you guys, this is the average tier. This is the C tier, and in this case, C stands for safe. These are the movies that I can't really imagine anyone hating them. Can't imagine anyone saying that any of these are their favorite movies, but these are cozy, these are easy, and these are watchable. And the first movie that belongs in this tier is The Holiday. And oh man, you gotta love The Holiday. It's a real cozy bash with Jude Law, Titanic, Cameron Diaz, and Kung Fu Panda himself. California workaholic trades places with a heartbroken Englishwoman, and the holiday healing begins. Jokes and romance are all over the place, and this sweet old man talks about how good movies used to be good before this one was ever made. It's such a blast. I gotta give this one an 8 out of 10. And after you finish The Holiday, might as well round out the night with another Christmas movie pick with our buddy Will Ferrell. It's a fresh, cozy, entertaining, but also musical movie. So sorry about that if you hate musicals. Speaking of movies, I saw the movie Spirited, and it was actually really good. This is a Christmas movie that plays with the Christmas Carol plotline. The sort of, bad guy has a night where ghosts show him, his past, present, and future to help broaden his perspective so that he realizes, oh, he's sort of a piece of crap. And he has time to change. In this movie, it's like a whole business, and they spend all year researching someone and creating all these sets and stuff where the scenes will take place. This was a really sweet movie. I thought it was pretty funny. It is also a musical, and the music was pretty good. The comedy was great. The music was not the most memorable, and obviously these actors are, they're not singers first and foremost, they're actors, but it still was a fresh and fun idea. I actually give this one probably a 7.5 out of 10. I really liked it. And at the top of the list of safe movies, and maybe I'm dumb for putting this here, but this is a movie that it's not gonna change your life, it's not gonna ruin your life, but I think you might like that you had it in your life, if only for the duration of the film. And that film is The Creator, and I did not expect this to be what it was. Yes, it is your typical Dancing with Wolves, Avatar, the Blue People one type story, where, someone is sent by a big group to go investigate a tribe or whatever, and they end up liking the tribe more and turning against the people who sent them. There's not really any nuance to the conflict. I felt I don't know, to me it seemed very black and white messaging. You are never at any point sort of encouraged to feel conflicted about the protagonist's choices. You very much are kind of convinced to not like them. But the way that it was shot and edited was incredibly thoughtful. The beginning of the movie was sort of atmospheric for a little bit, but then it just starts this breakneck pace that it keeps up for so much of the movie. And you're supposed to feel that way because that's how the protagonist feels. It's an overwhelming rate of change, and he's constantly being thrown with, decisions to make and problems to face. And I have a slow brain. My mind has to catch up. And I was playing a lot of catch up throughout this movie. But in hindsight, and when I was watching it, I felt it was a very emotionally effective film. And I do recommend it. I definitely recommend it. I don't think everyone will like it, but I do think it was a very good movie that was certainly worth watching. Before we get to the best of this list, I want to give a quick shout out to my cousin's new shop, Shout out to Trevor. This dude is a mad dog. He's been on that grind since like 7th grade, selling shoes, pumping out YouTube shorts, and now he's got his own website, Designer Details. It's a Christian jewelry shop with everything from cross necklaces to WWJD bracelets. I picked up one, and I must say, can't believe how heavy this necklace is. Stellar quality, stellar product. This dude's only in high school, and if you want to check out his products, visit designerdetails.shop. Uh-oh, B tier. These movies are high risk, high reward. Either you have the patience for non-linear plot, or you don't. Either you like Eastern-style storytelling, or you don't. If you prefer to know what you're in for and what you're gonna get out of a movie, skip this tier. But if you're looking for something fresh, new, and oozing with style and creativity, this is a very, very good tier. And the first entry to the B tier is The Boy and the Heron. The world was colorful and creative, yet never felt like it was wasting time. In fact, this film tries its hardest to convince you that this isn't your next dopamine hit. It is a story that you haven't seen yet. Instead of assuming what you want and then giving it to you to the best of its abilities, it sort of guides you away from yourself, dissolving the plot that you keep trying to write in your head as you force your preconceptions onto this unapologetically original art. It urges you to stop and feel the streams of subtext flowing beneath the deceptively serene setting. This film has so much to offer and deserves a multitude of viewings before you can give it really any adequate analysis. I literally thought after the movie ended, imagining someone giving this a numerical rating feels like so wrong. It's like giving like a person or like a wedding speech, or I don't know, something that's like a little bit more sacred and deserves a little bit more reverence. Like, you don't just give that a stupid review. Just watch it if you want to see something fresh and you don't mind being a little bit more patient with sort of non-linear plot. Uh-oh, another movie. This one is stylistically inspiring. It is slow-paced, really slow-paced, but it is a romp. It is a fun ride, and I recommend it highly. What movie is it? Of course, I'm talking about The Chungking Express, an exemplary film praised by the Quentin Tarantino himself and inspiration for a sequence in the acclaimed movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Its distinct style is incredibly enthralling. The red and green neon lights that illuminate Hong Kong's nightlife, and that dreamy technique called step printing that allows sort of your brain to catch up with action taking place without destroying the pacing, as typical slow motion can tend to do. This is a cool movie, and one that I'm really, really happy that I watched. It features vignettes of 4 different characters' romantic stories, and that's all I can really give about the plot. This film really challenged at least my preconception of what a plot is, and led to some intriguing revelations, at least for my understanding of storytelling. It does show you the conflict in a really inglorious way. It's sort of capturing sobering realism with this attention to cinematography that would make any director blush. It's thoughtful, it's intentional, it is like visually stunning, but it is so unbelievably slow. And if you need a linear plot, if you need something where promises are made that this is where it's heading, this film doesn't really give you that. You sort of just have to be willing to enjoy the ride of it. I would say for me personally, I give this like a very high score, like a 7.5 out of 10 or something like that. But it's tough to give as a recommendation. I would say everyone just watch it, and if you hate it, you hate it. But if you like it, I think this will be an incredibly unique opportunity for you to see something so probably different. I don't know. Wow! You guys made it to the A tier, also known as the must-watch tier. Also known as the I don't care if you hate it, you're gonna love it tier. The final movie today is the only entry into this part of the tier list, and that is probably one of the coolest movies I've seen in a long time, and that is Excalibur from 1981. If you've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, then you've pretty much seen a parody of this movie, but I insist you give Excalibur its own attention. Here's what I'll say about this movie. If If you don't mind practical effects and that super duper cheesy 80s acting and you like fantasy settings, you're gonna love this movie.
Were I not king, I would make you pay with your life for what you say.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
The dialogue is at times brilliant and poetic, and then at other times it's hilariously bad. The performances of all the actors are like so genuine, but just completely ridiculous.
And all complete in a single glance, it would burn you to cinders.
Where is it?
It's such a bizarre sort of middle ground between so bad it's good and so unique it's like instantly memorable and thoroughly entertaining. Make sure to pay attention whenever Merlin is on screen.
You must help me, Merlin! Must I?
That actor had a background in Shakespearean stage performing, and his charm like rivals Darth Sidious. It's so awesome.
Master wouldn't do.
Oh, good. Oh, that's grand.
I love this movie. I give it an 8 out of 10, but don't watch with kids. Probably there is some nudity, but it's plot relevant, so handle that how you will. I hope you watch one of these movies. I hope that one of these you saw looked really cool to you. And if you do watch it, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And if you disagree with anything on my list, okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.